In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can get your gameplay footage for your stream or recordings to look a little bit better than most people's, better than your competitors. We're not doing anything fancy. We're not doing anything spectacular. All we're doing is adding a filter to the actual gameplay, whether that's the Windows capture you're using or the display capture, or if you're playing on a console. This will get you right for all of those. So we're going to add a filter to it by right clicking on that source, and then we're going to add the filter for color correction, and we're going to add sharpen. As far as the settings are concerned, I leave gamma alone. I put 0.05 for the contrast. For brightness, I leave it alone. If you want, you can lower it down just a couple of clicks down. It just depends on the brightness of the game, but usually you don't have to do that. I'm going to show you how to get it looking right. And then as far as the saturation, 0.50, and then hue shift, I don't mess with that. And then the opacity, leave that alone. And then as far as the sharpness, the default is going to be 0.08, I believe, but 0.10 is what we put it on. All right, what's good, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to get your GTA graphics to look better. You have to keep in mind that it doesn't need to just look good for you. It needs to look good for what you're showing on your stream. You go over to your settings for the game, you come down to display. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is make it look nice for you, but that should be the second situation that you worry about. The first thing you wanna worry about is how it looks for your viewers. You wanna look at your actual display preview from your capture card or what it looks like on your monitor, and then you wanna go ahead and adjust the brightness and look there. If you look on your screen might have the saturation boosted up. Your screen might have brightness turned up, but people seeing it won't see what you see on your screen. They're only going to see how it looks when you put it into your software. So as you can see, if I turn this all the way down, it's going to make the Rockstar logo disappear. That's not good. And then if we take a look at what that looks like, this is what we're sitting with. This is not great, but it looks beautiful for my screen, for what I'm playing on, but the actual gameplay footage is terrible. So we want to change that. So what you do is you go in and you adjust it for what you see on your preview screen in your software. So whether you're using OBS or whether you're using Streamlabs OBS or the Elgato capture software or any other type of software, you want to do this. Keep turning it up, keep turning it up, and do it until you see that Rockstar emblem is supposed to be visible. This is as far as I can turn it up. And then as far as your screen is concerned, then dead last is when you're supposed to go through and change your screen's settings in the menu for your screen. And as you can see, this looks beautiful. This looks magnificent. The cars driving by look good. The sky looks nice. The bike looks nice. Everything about this is nice. And then a little trick that I've been doing is I've been adding a little bit of color correction in my OBS software. So what I do is I add a filter to my game capture device. You can do this with your window capture. You can do this with anything like that. But I'm using the Xbox One X, so I add the filter to that. And right here, as you can see, it says color correction. If I turn that off, turn this sharpen off, look how it looks. This doesn't look too great. So if I turn that back on, turn on the sharpen, you see that we don't have too much going on. We have gamma set to 0. We have the contrast set to 0.05. And then we have brightness. We don't even mess with that. If you want to, you can test turning down the brightness just a tad bit or turn it up just a tad bit to get it looking perfect. But I usually leave that alone and just do what I just showed you earlier. And then we put the saturation on 0.50, and then we don't touch the hue shift, and then we don't touch the opacity. And then as far as the sharpen, we just go ahead and put that on 0.10. And then all you do is when you turn that on, it's a subtle difference, but you can tell. So let me just make this a little smaller real quick, a little smaller. And then if I turn that on, off, on, off, on, off. It's subtle, but that's all you need. You don't want to turn this up too much. You can do this to other games too, but you might have to change these settings just a little bit because some games already might push out a little bit more saturation, a little color, a little bit more brightness than others. So you might have to change this depending on what game you're playing. But usually you should be fine with this and just changing the brightness in the game, because the brightness inside the game is what's really making this look washed out, what's making it look terrible. And like I said, Do the actual screen that you're playing on, do the settings for that later. Get the stream, get the videos that you're recording, get that looking perfect first, because that's what matters most.